This is the Heart of LAFC podcast, special edition.
The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, here are your hosts, Jerry Jimenez and Joseph Zacher.
What is up? Welcome to the Heart of LAFC podcast. My name is Jerry Jimenez, your host, your friend, your insider into the Los Angeles Football Club. Thank you for joining me. Joseph is not here today. Thank you for joining me for a very, very, very special episode. I don't have Joseph here with me, but I do have some other guests, just a couple other people, just a few other people that are very, very special and are amazing to be joining us today. First and foremost, I just want to let you know that this is not going to be like your regular show. So if you don't like bad words, if you don't like cussing, I would probably turn this off now because we are probably going to cuss. As per usual, if you guys have heard somebody say that before, as per usual, there is bad words in other podcasts, and there will be some here. Shout out to the boys of FCFC who are also not here. Maybe we can get them on later, but for now, we have a few other people that I'm going to unmute. Wish us luck. This is going to be fun. What's up, guys? Say hi real quick. What's up, everybody? Say hi.
Hey!
What up? All right.
What's going on?
Oh, my goodness. This is ridiculous. There's
Too
so
many chefs in the kitchen, Jerry.
No, this is
Ya se
good.
armó.
Ya se armó. All right. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to introduce you guys one by one. But you have the Podfam here, everybody. I mean, how cool is this? So, first of all, from Somos LAFC Podcast and from the North End, legendary Mr. Julio Ramos. What's going on, sir?
¿Qué tal, mi raza? ¿Cómo están? Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining, and thank you for having us, Jerry. It's a historical night tonight.
Yeah, man. It's a historical night for a lot of other things. A few of us would be at this point getting ready for some other things. Instead, here we are. And so we're going to talk about that, of course. That's why we're doing this. And so, yeah, let's keep it going here with another member of the Pod family from the Counter Press podcast, as well as representing Banknote and the awesome team over there, Mr. Josh Gasho. How's it going on, man?
Pretty good. Like I said, I wish we were meeting under better circumstances, but, you know, we'll do what we can tonight, and hopefully it'll be as entertaining as it should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or as we think we are.
Yeah, right. I'd like to say we're all entertaining. All right. And now for the trio of Shoulder to Shoulder podcast, Mr. Jonathan Reimer. Did I say that right?
You did.
Yes. That's awesome. Oh, Siri's talking too. We have Christian and Chris too. God, there's so many Chris's in here. But what's up, guys? What's going on, Shoulder to Shoulder?
Doing good. How you?
Thank you for having us. Pleasure to be here. The only people in LA not covering their mouths right now, the Pod fam.
That's right. That's awesome.
It's all good. It's all good. Just glad to be here, guys.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys. Now, another duo. You guys may know of these guys. They are at almost every single tailgate, right? The fantastic.
Right.
Yeah, the fantastic, the amazing, I don't even know how to describe you guys. You guys are just the best. Philly and the Scarf from Defenders of the Bank. Buenas noches, senors. How are you?
Hey, what's happening, guys? It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Look, we got to use all that energy we're going to spend on Cruz Azul on this podcast tonight, so it's going to be a good time.
Absolutely. There's a void because there's no match tonight. We're going to help fill that for you.
Yeah. Love it. We currently have, just so you guys have a heads up, there's about 50 people watching right now. Good stuff.
Hey, all right.
So, hi, everybody.
Thanks to all of you. Thank you.
And we have one more guest. One more person. Another member of the Pod family. Everybody here is the Pod family, but this is another one of the first few people that was starting it, along with Somos and along with ourselves and just everybody. So, God, Mr. Pablo Morales from Dale, Black and Gold. Vamos, vamos equipo.
Hey, thank you, Jerry, for having me, and pretty excited to see everybody here. We should do this in a bar, honestly. I don't know.
Oh man,
I agree.
Hey, you know what? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do something real quick. Let me see if I can add something in there. Stand by real quick. Oh, look, the camera's all weird now. What is going on here?
Right, can we talk
There we
about
go.
the low-key diaper change that's happening
Hold
right
on.
now, too?
Well, yeah, you guys can't see what's happening, but
Daddy duty.
Couple more shots of whiskey. You're gonna have to
look
change
at
my
this.
diaper.
There we go. What's up, dude?
Hey, buddy. Hey,
so
buddy.
this is a
The
skeleton.
rookie of the pod fam.
This is a skeleton.
Yeah, it's my son Ben. It's bedtime.
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
Say hi,
Hold
Ben.
on, hold on.
Hey, Ben.
I don't have you guys on. Hold on.
That's awesome.
All right.
I think that's
Can
the
you
first
guys-
ever diaper change we've had on a
Can you guys hear me okay?
Well, visual diaper change.
Yeah, we
yes.
got you. We can hear
Okay.
you, Jerry.
So this is tequila for you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
Borracho.
Whiskey for all of you.
For the pod fam. Just wanna I don't usually drink on this show. I don't know if you guys know that, but I don't usually drink at all. So cheers, guys.
Yeah, you used to drink. I don't know what
Fancy
happened.
drink.
You got all fit and stuff.
There you go. There you go.
Is he subbing in for Joseph Zacher?
Yeah. All right. Oh, that was good. Whew. All right, guys. We have a lot to talk about today. Again, reminder to everybody, we're going to cuss on this. I already said it earlier, so guess what? If you are not okay with cussing, you better fucking go away right now because you're going to hear some bad words in here. Okay? So what's up, fucking fucker? No, I'm just, all right. We got to talk about this.
Fucking friendly.
It's like you've been holding for so long.
I've been holding it in for so long. No, the whole goal of this and the reason why we're doing this, guys, right? And the reason why you're all here listening and watching is you want to know or want to have something else to do because in 20 minutes, there was supposed to be a kickoff. There was supposed to be a game. We were going to be facing off against number 1 in Liga MX Cruz Azul. And that is no longer happening. Julio, I'm going to start with you, man, because you're the first one on my screen. How we feeling, man? Kind of tell me your reaction when you first heard that this was no longer going to go down, bro.
Listen, man. First of all, I went to the Zumba classes for 3 days, to be game ready, and this happened, But I mean, honestly, it's very sad to hear. I mean, we all love the sport, we love football, and to hear that something that we're really looking forward to is being canceled. It kind of brings you down a little bit, but then on the other hand, it's for best. And just at least we're gonna have more days to practice new chants and to be in shape for the next game.
Yeah, man, that's a good way to look at it. That's awesome. Josh, how did you react, man? How'd you feel?
I think the biggest thing, like being in healthcare, obviously we're going to take it seriously, and it's things that we've heard, we've been hearing about for a while now. My brother is a physician over at the hospital here in Loma Linda, and so we've been talking back and forth, kind of seeing what things to expect. And he is an ICU physician. One of the things he was saying is like currently the medical community is treating it as something that they're concerned about, but obviously it's not something to panic over. It's kind of what their standpoint is right now. Obviously, there's a lot of things that have come along the way, but when you just take the 1 second to take a deep breath and kind of look at what's actually happening, it does fall somewhere in between there, right? In terms of, obviously, I don't think we're probably not in a place where we need to be hoarding toilet paper and some of these different things. But at the same time, obviously, it is something to take seriously, and it's probably a wake up call that we needed, given how we usually are during the normal flu season and some of these different things, right?
Yeah.
It's probably, like I said, a needed wake up call, but at the same time, when you think about everything that's going on, obviously it's a disappointment. Today just felt kind of weird, right? Like there's all this hype building, we got to see the game on Sunday, hype building all week for this one, and then all of a sudden, right, that's like the world came crashing down yesterday, first with the NBA, and then obviously today with Major League Soccer and everything else, and all the other sports basically canceling events left and right. So, but it's the right thing to do. I think, like I said, especially from a medical standpoint, it's what needed to happen just to make sure that we slow some of this down. But it is something to be prepared for, at least your life to change for at least the next 30 to 60 days or so.
Yeah. It's one thing that's not being discussed, too, is how the medical profession, the medical field is going to be affected by this. With everybody freaking out as it is already, we don't have enough doctors, and so the demand for that is gonna get crazy because people are going to want to be tested. Now, I don't know how that's going on. I didn't get a chance to read. All I've seen is nothing but bad things about how we're not ready for that, how we're not ready for the amount of tests that we actually need. And can you kind of shed some light on that end? I mean, are we kind of prepared if anybody wanted to go get tested right now? Is that a possibility at all?
So the likelihood is no, right? I mean, the big thing is whether or not you actually need to be tested is what the medical community is debating at the moment, because it becomes a situation as to where, like, for example, does everyone that has a cough or need to go to the emergency room? Right. Yeah. The answer is probably no, but that's a lot of times where we go because of fear, because of panic and these different things. And something that we talked about today, I was in a director's meeting with a lot of the other clinics in the area, and they talked about over the last, I think, since this thing started, you've had 1.1 billion mentions in the media so far since coronavirus became a thing. You have for SARS, which is more deadly, it was 56.2 million mentions. HIV is 40 million mentions. MERS, which is the Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome, is 23.2 million mentions. So it's one of those things where, because of the coverage, it's going to spark a lot of the things that we're feeling, whether or not it's as bad as, like I said, it's being made out to be. Now, the issue that comes up, it is extremely infectious, right? And that's where the issue comes up, is because it just can be transmitted much easier than some other things, and also the length of time that it does last outside of the body. So, that's why they're recommending everything, clean everything, make sure you're washing your hands, doing those different things. That's how we, you kind of kick back against some of these different things. But, at the end of the day, you're looking at a situation as to, ramping up, you can ramp up all we want to get the testing done, some of those different things, but we have 300 million people in this country, right? Or more.
330.
There you go. Right. So it's a lot different scenario than you're dealing with in a place like South Korea or even Australia, where they're testing fairly rapidly. But again, it's not 330 million people. Yeah. So unless you're living in a place like China, where they can, they're quarantining entire cities. Again, it's rather difficult to kind of go through this process. So again, it's one of those things where what we recommend is, if you feel sick, make sure you're taking the time to, quarantine yourself, do what's necessary, take care of yourself. If you start to feel those extra symptoms, that's when you really need to make sure that you get in to the hospital and get tested. But again, if short of that, if you have those other things, if you are just feeling sick, just make sure you take the time to get healthy, keep yourself away, do the social distancing thing, do all the recommended things from the CDC and the World Health Organization, because again, at the end of the day, that's what's going to do, that's the actual solution, or that's a solution, as opposed to getting tested doesn't actually fix the problem that's at hand, right? It doesn't cure the disease. It just lets you know whether or not, again, you have it or not, right? So a lot of these things it's the question becomes whether or not everyone should be or needs to be, again, because we don't do that. The medical community doesn't do that with anything. Yeah. Right. There's a screening process that leads us to the point where we think we need to now test, as opposed to, should everyone be tested, so on and so forth. Yeah. Right? The reason why you want to do it is so you can get as much information as possible.
Yeah, and talking about information, I would recommend everybody that's listening now to head over to cdc.gov. It's the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And then they'll have all the information that you need there, coronavirus, how it spreads, the symptoms, preventions, and treatment, basically everything that you need to know. And we might go over some of that stuff later on. That's the main reason why we're here, is we want to educate you guys as much as we can, but at the same time, we're not medical professionals, except for the person that was just talking right now. But at the same time, don't, find out for yourself. Look into it for yourself. We want to just make sure that everybody knows the importance of this, just kind of not freaking out and but still being safe, but still making sure that you're taking the proper precautions, because it's affecting everybody. I mean, as you said, right? We have now no NBA, no NHL that started yesterday. What's the name of that basketball player that started touching all the mics?
Rudy Gobert.
Yep.
What a jerk, right?
Utah Jazz.
The fuck was that?
Not necessarily playful.
Nah, it was terrible. So, I mean, you saw it there, and then it just escalated over, and then we started seeing USL and championship, and then USL 1, and then you saw MASL even. The major arena soccer league is affected as well.
Yeah,
And
we were going to go to the Ontario Fury game tomorrow, but that got ixnayed. No March Madness, none of that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
No March Madness. I mean, it's the day that sports, postponed. I was gonna say die, but it didn't die, and that's what we're here to.
Die.
It's postponed for now. And again,
Video games and board games now.
Yeah, there you go. So also, I mean, defenders, what was your first reaction, guys, as far as like when you first heard of this happening? What was your initial reaction?
Yeah, so real quick, I'm a teacher, and I can't tell you how many other teachers and other people involved in education that I've been in contact with over this last week, with high schools closing, with colleges closing. Our campus just decided today, as of 4:30, that we are closing indefinitely. So that was kind of one way to look at it. We've got a lot of families with small children, and a lot of these other schools do things like have a grandparents' day where everybody flies in, they get to see their school, and to have all those grandparents traveling, it was a really unnerving situation. And the only thing that I could think, and while LAFC was kind of waiting to hear what MLS would do, I'm just thinking, yeah, it's probably not the people in 3252 that are going to be affected by this, probably not the people throughout our stands. But the only thing I can think of is, but maybe some of those people have to go home and take care of grandma.
Right.
Or they've got a spouse who has a respiratory illness or something like that. And not thinking about things like that was the part that kind of scared me a little bit, because I feel like I'm a 36-year-old male who's in, I know it's the worst shape of my life, but still relatively good health and whatever else. And I feel like, okay, even if I get a really bad flu or something like this, my odds for being okay are good. But I have two 77-year-old parents at home that I help, take care of and are part of my household. And I couldn't imagine the feeling of, oh my goodness, like I might have given it to them, and you put all those different things together, and there was just a lot of uncertainty happening right now in the world. And I was just kind of waiting, like, okay, like when are we actually going to cancel the game? When are things going to happen? And it took a little bit longer. I was teaching math at the time, and I was telling my kids, like, as of right now, guys, I'm still going to the LAFC game after work today. This is going to be a lot of fun still. I was trying to be positive for them too, because they're sixth graders, they're 12 years old. And while they're scared of a lot of things out there, I keep letting them know, look, we're going through this all together for the first time. And that's why I feel like it's so important for a bunch of us to get together and to let everybody know, like, this is the LAFC Podfam, but we're speaking to the Black and Gold family right now. We're speaking to everybody out there who is as uneasy about this as we are, and yet still wants to throw beer after we score a goal. We want to do those same things together. So it's the weirdest week of my entire lifetime. The only thing that it kind of reminds me of is, and I don't at all equate the two, but the way that like life kind of stood still for a little bit right after 9/11, like this is even more different. But it's the only other thing that I can kind of equate that to in my lifetime.
So I'm going to speak on that because I went through 9/11. I was 30 blocks away. It was an insane day. Now, when the coronavirus really started making itself felt, my wife and I were in Italy. And Italy took an interesting approach. We were in Rome in the south part. There wasn't much conversation about it. The Italians down south thought, all right, they're making a big deal out of it. It's up in the north. And the only thing I could think of at that time was, well, I don't feel guilty for not booking Venice and Milan for my wife's birthday. Now, of course I'm gutted. We all go through our motions in life, whether they're socially, financially, professionally. To me, and I'm sure a lot of you will attest to this as well, is LAFC and Bank of California Stadium functions as like a cathedral. It's a place where we go and love our club. There's very few things I personally love in this world other than my family, my friends, and my club. And to not have the ability to go to Bank of California Stadium today to see LAFC put the Shenane on Cruz Azul hurts. But at the same time, I respect the decisions of our club. And as a result of that, I'm okay with it. I don't think the club would want to put us in any kind of danger. And I'm also coming at this from the perspective of a finance guy. I manage people's money for a living. Let me tell you the kind of 2 weeks I had, including on vacation, to see the Dow go from an 11-year bull market, meaning some economic push that was killing it, to all of a sudden pulling back, my clients losing money, me personally losing money, seeing it from that perspective, it was rough. Did I think it was overblown? At the time I did, but one thing I will say, having been in Italy when everything was going through, when shit was hitting the fan, God, it feels so good to swear, Scarf. I never get a chance to do that. But when shit was hitting the fan, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, this sucks. But the Italians took a laissez-faire perspective to it. And what do you know? 12,000 reported cases in Italy. As much as it sucks that March Madness is done, the NBA is done, the NHL is done, MLS is suspended. The MASL of all things, which we didn't hear about on ESPN, by the way. Right. Shame on you, ESPN. What we're taking is a proactive approach rather than a reactive approach. Because I think as of yesterday, the reported cases were 1,200 U.S. citizens were infected, 35 died. When it comes to the grand scheme of things, a day ago, it was 125,000 infected. 0.75% of all cases were fatalities in the U.S. I know the numbers are skewed. Look, I'm a numbers guy. I know all statistics are skewed. But to see the U.S. taking a proactive approach at least gives me a warm and fuzzy sense that we're going to overcome this. We're going to overcome this, and we're going to do what needs to be done in order to get our crazy lives back to normal as much and as quickly as we possibly can.
Great. Yeah, I think that's how we all feel, man. It's a scary times for sure, but again, that's why we're here. Just thank you for everybody that's joining us now. We're at 60 people now, guys. Good job. But it's really important that we just make sure that we get this word out, and that's why I'm saying how many people are here. Like the 64 of you that are here listening and watching right now, and those of you that are listening to the pod once it's actually posted up, I want to make sure that you guys spread the word and make sure that people understand it's okay, but also be very, like I said earlier, cautious and really educate yourselves. Head over and read about it. Get information from the proper places and not just from somebody that's, spewing out things that they don't know nothing about. So cdc.gov being the best of places to go and get all that information because it's easy to access, easy to go and just read. All right. And so, with that being said, again, man, I'm so just happy to be able to do this with you guys, man, because it's really important that we got there. We are literally 6 minutes away right now from when we were going to have kickoff, against Cruz Azul. And this is a big deal.
To that.
It was, it was actually just saw somebody post here in the chat room. And by the way, if you have any questions or you want to throw anything at us, go ahead. I'm monitoring the chat room as much as I can. I see a lot of you guys in here. But send anything you want our way. We'll try to throw it up here and actually answer it if it's a question. But there's a few people that were saying that there's even the Cruz Azul players are going to be tested pretty soon. And there's actually, now I found out there's some players in Liga MX that are coming down sick, and now they're starting to worry in Mexico. And this wasn't a worry in Mexico this morning, but it's changing now so quickly, so fast. And we just have to be aware of what's happening and be cautious. Shoulder to shoulder, guys. What's your initial thoughts when you first found out MLS is going to kind of, it's going to be postponed as far as keep calm and wash your hands. Was that your initial thought, Jonathan?
I think there is some cause for concern, assuredly. There's no reason for these kind of drastic actions to be taken if there weren't drastic consequences on the horizon. But all of us need to take a deep breath and go through some simple practices to keep ourselves and our loved ones and our communities safe. And if we just do those things, then this will blow over and this will all be behind us soon enough. But some simple things that we can do, like wash your hands, avoid physical contact with people. If you're sick, stay at home. Do those kinds of things, and we'll be able to be back at the bank, beer showers and all, soon enough.
I totally agree, and I want to echo some of the things that Scarf said. My concern was more for those that have extended families that interact with, their grandparents or older parents or even infants. Like, I think that's the bigger concern. Most of us are, I'd say, from teens to in their 40s and 50s, and we're healthy enough to sustain or fight off some of the coronavirus symptoms. But I think some of these measures that are being taken by the government and the leagues across the country are probably because there isn't as many tests, things might be underreported, and there's a greater number in the horizon, and it's better to be precautious. I actually myself wish it would have been a little sooner, maybe at the end of last week, because if you look at the map around the world, these things were popping up much more quickly, and I think just because of the size of our country, it's harder to gather data as quickly as well. So, my wife and I were already thinking of not attending tomorrow because I have an older grandfather too. He's like in his late 80s, and I was going to see him this weekend. So that was part of the thought process. And I'm just happy that, we're all safe, and for the most part, there's no reported cases within the community, but I don't want that to happen. And if it's the trade-off is this epic potential rain game win versus everyone being healthy, we can postpone that. That's still going to happen, right? So, that's how I feel about it. We're still going to take care of business once we're all allowed to go to the bank together as a fan and as a club.
Chris, you're not here with us in studio, but you're here with us on the chat, brother. You have any thoughts?
You know what? I think that at the end of the day, we just kind of have to, look at it as an opportunity for us to get a little bit more time in together, because the club's definitely going to get an opportunity to practice during this suspension of the season. So it's not like they're not going to be able to have any kind of club activities. So there's, I guess, a little bit of a silver lining. But at the same time, too, I think that we also we just kind of have to take it in stride, take it day by day. And it's I think that there's more to lose at the if we were to continue on with the schedule than there is if we were to postpone everything. So I think, even though it may not be what we want, at the end of the day, it's what's best for everybody.
Yeah, good points, guys. Did you guys want to say something, defenders? I saw Scarf over there with the hand.
Oh, no, I'm just nodding along. I love what they were saying. I totally agree. Okay. Always good stuff from shoulder to shoulder. And that, it's just hard because I feel like being a fan, right? Fan is short for fanatic for a lot of these people. And I get it, right? Like, we all bleed black and gold. I don't know of anything else that represents our city better than the black and gold on the field at our Cathedral Bank of California Stadium. But I feel like if we just took a minute to think about exactly what you guys were saying and what I had kind of talked about earlier, is that we all have families, right? We all have friends who are going through something, or families that have elderly or small children, whatever it is. That's the focus of everything, right? Like, that's the part that bothers me, is when we hear the focus being on something other than human life, something other, because you can't go to the bank if you don't think about something and someone else catches it and God forbid something happens. They can't be shoulder to shoulder with you. They can't be side by side with you in the stands because something like that happened. That's the only part that scares me, is sometimes people were losing sight of that bigger picture, because the next time we play at Bank of California Stadium, when it's against Cruz Azul, we're going to win either way. So why not be safe? Why not take care of everything that we need to take care of and then beat them at the right time?
Right.
Yeah, good point. Also,
Pablo, what do you think?
Yeah, Pablo, go for it, Pablo.
Okay. First, about the disease itself, there's nothing I can say. I'm not an expert at all, and something that really gets me worried is how people are gonna react, because we are not in the age of information as was promised. We're actually in the age of disinformation, which means that disinformation, it's actually what is spreading faster than real information about the disease. And just concern, that I hear so many different theories and people jump to conclusions, and like people fighting for toilet paper. I mean, what the fuck is going on? I mean, they're surprised, right? The first thing is his toilet paper. I mean, seriously, I don't understand, but it worries me that this post-modern times, nobody believes anything, man. Nobody believes in the government and the doctors. Everybody thinks that because they have Google, they know better than the doctors. That what I would say is just like you were sharing right now, the CDC, the page. The best thing we can do is just like Jonathan said, just keep calm, wash your hands, read what the CDC is recommending, and if they suspended the games, I mean, it's. They know what they're doing. I trust they know better than a lot of people posting a bunch of stupid shit on the internet right now. But
Yeah.
but and on the other hand, the football wise, well, maybe now we're gonna have Ray Phillips ready for the match.
That's it. Those are good points, Pablo.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So I don't know. It is what it is. I just say people just try to keep calm and just don't do stupid things just because you read something on Facebook. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
That's what I can say.
Awesome. Well, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of information from the CDC, and again, cdc.gov/COVID-19 is where you want to go. But if you go just to the cdc.gov website, it's right in the front. I mean, they make it very easy for you to go and check it out. But the coronavirus disease is coronavirus disease 2019, which is COVID-19, is a respiratory illness that can spread from person to person. The virus causes the COVID, the COVID-19, is a novel coronavirus that was first identified during an investigation in an outbreak in Wuhan, China. It says that the first case in the United States was reported in January 21st of 2020, and it has since spread. The patients with the coronavirus have had mild to severe respiratory illness with symptoms of fever, cough, or shortness of breath, that being one of the main ones. So there's no vaccine as of right now. There's no treatment official treatment as of right now, at least from what this says. Anybody feel free to jump in if I'm saying anything that maybe is updated or you have any updated information. But that is what we have so far. And then as far as how it spreads, this is the more important thing, it's a person-to-person spread. So the virus is thought to spread mainly from person to person between people who are in close contact with one another, which is within about 6 feet, and then through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person coughs or sneezes. So hence why they do not want, big groups of people getting together and doing this thing and getting, getting sick. Unfortunately, just like that guy that you guys were talking about, again, I don't care about his name, but the NBA player that just went around joking around, he didn't know he had it. How many of him are there around, right? You see a lot of people saying that. How many of him are there around? That's how it spreads.
Donovan Mitchell got it. There was a second player on that team that got it.
Oh, see? There you go.
We're hearing reports
The
that
craziest thing is that Arteta, the gaffer of Arsenal, has it, and the Premier League has an emergency meeting as to what to do with the season. And I said this earlier during our prep, and I'm going to bust Chris's chops. The silver lining in all this, not only is Bradley Wright Phillips going to be ready for the next game, not only is Dio going to be ready for the next game, but for all of us Premier League fans that do not like Liverpool, we won't get to see them get crowned. And I think that's a silver lining. What do y'all think? He's a gunner. He's happy that Liverpool's not going to get crowned in front of everybody. Come on.
What?
Yeah.
What did Amanda said something over there?
That's just sour apples, dude. You're just sour apples because your club hasn't been relevant.
I'm just trying to make light of a situation. And I don't get an opportunity to bust your chops in person as much.
All right. Well, so again, MLS has been postponed 30 days so far, but that is indefinitely, right? So 30 days is the minimum, and then we'll see how the situation has been going, and then go from there. So
I have a comment about the coronavirus. So I've been seeing a lot of comments, or I've received texts that the Clorox wipes say coronavirus on the label of things that it kills. Just one of the things to think about is coronavirus is like a category. There's common colds, flus, even SARS and MERS. All of that falls under coronavirus, which is why it's called the novel coronavirus or COVID-19, which is a new strain that just appeared into something that can be contracted from human to human. So I just want to dispel that for those that are listening. The coronavirus that's on the Clorox wipe labels, because I've been seeing people kind of hoarding those because it says it on there. It's not like the government knew or Clorox knew beforehand and it's been in your shelves preemptively. It's just, it kills against the cold and the flu that already exists. So one of the things I wanted to share because I've been getting a lot of saying those things.
Yeah, we have
in the house.
we have somebody joining us here. Say what's up, man.
Good people of Los Angeles.
Hey,
Hey!
what's happening, dude?
I'm at the bank.
Oh, nice. What are you doing over there?
It's uncharacteristically lonely.
Too easy
It
to
is.
get into
No,
the game, buddy.
the game was suspended. That's why.
Is that what's
This
happening?
is why we tell you to read your emails.
I just wanted to see you guys, but nobody is here.
Oh,
You
I thought
you
like
gotta
that's
listen
what
to
Jerry was
Christian,
saying.
read
Like
your
we're all
emails.
meeting at the bank right now.
No, sorry, man.
So where y'all at?
We're all different places, man. I'm in San Diego. Everybody else is in. Where are you guys at, actually?
It's
Cities,
like a
go.
Brady Bunch intro right now.
Dude,
There's
that's what
a
it.
story.
This is
of the
crazy.
LAFC Pod family.
This is crazy. Now wow. Now I'm trying to figure out now. We have on the screen 2 defenders, for some reason. See if I can get you guys off. But yeah, that was hey, not like that. Come on now, I'm married.
Giggity. Yeah.
Giggity. Oh, man, let's see. I think I got you. I got this. All right, there we go. I made it work. Yeah, welcome, man. Well, yeah. So what you've missed so far, we kind of given some information that comes directly from the CDC about the coronavirus. I did want to actually, before I forget, the art show unfortunately has been postponed. For those of you that were not aware of that, the 4th annual benefit and silent auction put together by the 3252 has been postponed until further notice. It was supposed to take place March 14th between 6 and 9 at City of Angels. That is no longer happening on that date. It will be postponed until this all kind of figures itself out. So I want to make sure you get that information out there. And yeah, it's a bummer, but again, it's for the best. All right, we gotta keep that in mind. And then also our president, Mr. Tom Penn, released a video. I'm going to go ahead and play that for everybody. You guys cool with that?
Heck yeah.
All right. Here we go.
And all of the Los Angeles. To the members and supporters of Los Angeles Football Club, we send our heartfelt wishes and good thoughts to you, your family, your friends, and all of the Los Angeles community. You know, we love LAFC because it represents our love for Los Angeles, and we have a responsibility and an opportunity to work together, stick together, help one another, and get through these unprecedented times. So let's be safe, clean, and careful. Let's stay connected and supportive of one another. We will get through this together and come out on the other side in support of our club and our city.
little overhang. But other than that, there was no one, and that's really rare. There's always people playing. There's always people. It's a very like active part of town. If you ever come to the stadium here and just go to games, like there's pickup soccer all the time on the lawn in front of the Natural History Museum. There's pickup soccer in front of the Rose Garden. There's always stuff going on. But today, there was nothing. So I did the same thing today as I did when I heard. I just poured up some of the good leaves. You know, drink a little bit of the tea, try to get by. You know, it's one of those things where it's like it's affecting everyone in the world at this point. I also like lived in China for a time, and a lot of my, you know, like Chinese friends here in Los Angeles and abroad have been affected for a while. So it just sort of feels like now everyone's involved in that. These are the sorts of problems that like will probably continue to exist in our lives, like problems that are too big for one country, too big for one community, too big for, you know, any one single way to address. So we'll all have to like work together and solve these things bit by bit and figure things out on the fly. And, you know, for me, I'm just, you know, happy to be here with you guys this evening at this very quiet Bank of California Stadium. For those watching on the video, if you're listening to the recording, I hope you're having some tea wherever you're at.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Yeah, and on that note, I think I'm gonna need another one of these tequila shots.
Another shot.
That a boy.
Yeah.
That a boy. That's
Yeah.
what I like to hear, Jerry. Drink that.
Go ahead, Scarf.
Hey, Slim. Fuck you, bro. I fixed the audio, all right? They were having some audio problems, and he's like, fix your fucking audio, Jerry, or something like that.
Yeah, I got a text also.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Dweezy, we're cussing. It's okay, buddy.
Yeah, come on, y'all. Let's get on board this cuss game. Come on, guys. Come on
Hey,
down. Come on down.
As per usual, we
Expo
are
Park
all
State
hanging
Line.
out at Expo Park with Dweez,
Real
Drinking
quick, one thing
some-
I want to mention that
drinking
Dweezy just
some
said
tea.
too.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Give me a chance. Hold on.
Oh,
Hey,
sorry.
hey.
Here, hold on.
Know
Cheers.
your role
Here.
and slow your mouth.
Cheers.
Cheers, Jerry.
Love you, Scarf. Love the Podfam. Love you all. Cheers.
Love you guys.
All right. Scarf, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I think a byproduct of what Dweezy just said, though, is that this is all also bringing the world together as best as it can, because, you know, there was almost that attitude at first, and I think it came from a certain member of our government at first, that the U.S. is too big or too technologically advanced or too whatever to have to deal with this stuff. And then all of a sudden it came knocking on our door, and still there was that kind of, I don't know, arrogant air about everything. And all of a sudden, over the course of like 2 days, you're absolutely right, Dweezy. This is bigger than just one country. It's bigger than just one city. It's bigger than just one identity of people. It doesn't matter. This has helped kind of bring us all together and realize that we have to pool our resources. We have to fight this. We have to figure this out. And we have to all do things that are smart together. And that's a great point you just brought up.
Yeah, man. Good shit.
Thank you. I mean, I don't know. I personally, having lived abroad on several continents and, you know, have friends all over the world like so many of us do, it's my personal opinion that many of the problems of the future will be like this in nature. Like, we have to work together. Like, things aren't so isolated anymore. Like, we live in a global economy. Like, all of this stuff, what's bad for, you know, the bee is bad for the hive, so to speak. So, you know, in many ways, I hope in that sense it's a wake-up call to all of us, and it's really nice. And you know, it's weird. It's weird to be in this empty place right now. I'm almost like getting emotional about it. It's so dead here. I come here all the time. I run around the stadium a couple times a week because it's right by my house. I ran around it even before there was a stadium, and it's just so dead here right now. And it reminds you of what it's like when it's full. So there's that like absence makes the heart grow fonder aspect too, and being appreciative about the things we have. Forgive me, y'all. I'm coming into this conversation late. I don't know what level you're on, but I'm just over here drinking my tea.
No,
saying
dude.
my shit,
We're
you know
right.
how I
We're
do.
right. We're right there.
Shout out to Slim and Josh. Shout out to Ryan Wallerson. But yeah, thank you, Jerry, for hosting this. And if I start walking back home during this conversation, it's only because this place feels like a ghost town.
Yeah, but we're here with you, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We got you.
Give you a virtual hug.
Yeah, virtual hugs all around. Yeah, man, Podfam, I fucking love you guys. This is great. We are man, we are now at 72 people watching. So for the 72 that are on, and if you want to talk to us, please feel free to comment and react there on the chat on YouTube. Send us some stuff. If you're just listening on audio, thank you guys for listening, for joining us. I want to make sure that you guys see all of us too, because there's sometimes you don't necessarily see us. I know some of us are more visible than others, but one man that's in this chat right now that I want to again kind of bring to the forefront and let you guys know that if it wasn't for this man, a lot of us would not, know what the 3252 was. What this the atmosphere that's at that stadium has a lot to do with him. Podcasting, the reason that I started, has a lot to do with him as well. No, Rich Orozco's not coming on, guys. I'm talking about somebody that's a little bit more special than that because I've known him a lot longer. We go way back, and it's really cool to see that from, an idea can stem so many crazy things. And of course, I'm talking about Mr. Julio Ramos over there. Sir, just openly and publicly, I wanted to say that I admire you. I think we all do. I think we all know who you are.
Absolutely.
And we know the kind of work and time that you put into this. And so, I mean, part of, being of the Podfam is also, making sure that other people are aware of the history and that we preserve that history for everybody, right? Make sure that everybody knows where we came from and why this is the way that it is. Because this shit didn't stem from nothing. This shit did not just happen by itself, by a miracle of God. It didn't just occur at one moment and all of a sudden 3252 was all in the stadium. This happened because of people like us, honestly, that have been putting in the work, growing this, getting the information out there. Dewey's, you do that all the time. Josh, you've been doing that for a long time as well. Shoulder to shoulder, the three of you guys. Pablo, you've been doing it. Defenders of the Bank have been doing a fantastic job as well. Everybody else that's part of the Podfam that's not here, I'm just stoked to be here with you guys and be able to share this with you guys. And, again, we've been saying it. If there's any information that you need, and I'll keep saying it throughout, cdc.gov, that's where you need to go. Get your information from the right places. If you need LAFC information, we all fucking got you. Now, if you need coronavirus information, head to cdc.gov. All right. Y para los que hablan español, que están escuchando ahorita también, Julio.
Presente.
Vamos.
Yeah, Julio, te dije que íbamos a hablar un poquito en español. I told you we would speak a little bit in Spanish. Pero me gustaría también que, por favor, ustedes como podcast, no nomás Julio, pero Pablo, I would like you guys that do the Spanish podcast to please also get that information out there in Spanish. Pero, Pablo, un poquito, Julio, por favor, porque dije muchas cosas de ti, no te dejé hablar, pero...
Sí, eso te iba a decir. Estoy esperando la introducción más larga de la historia.
Sí, Julio, un poquito de tu historia así rapidito y de lo importante de que es tener esta familia.
Claro que sí, bueno, mira, de mi historia un poco rapidito. Bueno, yo tuve la dicha de ser, junto con mi compadre, de los primeros aficionados en la historia que atendieron un evento cuando anunciaron el LAFC. De hecho, en octubre ya se cumple desde que la franquicia se anunció. Y bueno, creo que es una historia que la mayoría de la gente lo sabe. Y como dijiste tú, como bien lo dijiste, Jerry, es algo que nos ha costado mucho. Es algo que empezó como un sueño que yo siempre sabía que se iba a hacer realidad, que no ha sido nada fácil y que lo que nosotros tenemos en nuestras manos es realmente un fenómeno y es un legado que estamos dejando para la ciudad de Los Ángeles. Creo que ahorita, lo que está pasando ahorita es como una prueba más para nosotros como comunidad angelina. Y pues nada más decirle a la gente, ¿no? Como dice el Chapulín Colorado, que no panda el cúnico, infórmense. Aquí estamos compartiendo toda la información. Más que nada, pues hay que ver por nuestras familias y cuidarnos, lavarnos las manos, como dice John, y salir adelante, que cuando regresemos de esto vamos a regresar más fuertes que nunca.
Así es, cdc.gov, cdc.gov. Ahí está toda la información sobre coronavirus, la información correcta. Por favor, no se dejen ir por información que viene. Ahorita hay mucha mala información en el internet y en las noticias. No son los lugares para recibir información. Por favor, www.cdc.gov para la información que ocupan. Y creo que ahí está también todo en español. Okay. Pablo, are you going to do a show in Spanish también? and inform people? I'm going to put you on the spot, bro.
Solo para decirle a la gente que tenga presente que a veces el miedo es el verdadero enemigo, más que la enfermedad en sí. Es el miedo el que genera a veces la mayor cantidad de daño. Y también en inglés, it's fear is the real enemy. That's what I'm saying. If you don't speak Spanish, fear is the real enemy is the one who ended up causing more damage at the end. Solo que tratemos de mantenernos informados y recordar de que siempre he dicho yo de que cuando uno se desinforma, cuando uno empieza a escuchar, especialmente en las redes sociales, es el peor lugar para aprender, porque ahí es donde hay más mentiras. Lo mejor es ir al sitio que ya compartió Jerry y con los profesionales que ellos saben por qué se ha suspendido todo, ¿no?
Pablo, ¿quieres decir que no ir a LAFC Fans para las noticias?
No, de fútbol sí, pues, va con nosotros, pero cuando se trata de esas cosas, mantener la calma y no dejarse llevar por cualquier cosa que la gente dice. Por ahí alguien tuiteó que there's a conspiracy theory about MLS trying to help Joseph
Martinez,
oh, wow.
But they don't know that it's actually about Wright Phillips. That's the real conspiracy. That MLS is trying to help LAFC to recover Wright Phillips and Diomande. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious, guys.
Jerry, so let me in English. Thank you for the amazing introduction. Lesson that we have put together. It's a sense we all belong to something. We represent ways. We work and keep being the best in the MLS and hopefully on a global level.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, man. Thank you for that. Let me see if I can get everybody back on here real quick because it looks like I lost some of you. Here we go. All right. You can see Dweezy's walking. He is currently at Bank, reporting live from Bank of California, outside Bank of California Stadium. Hey, NWSL to LA. Now that's two people, so I have to mention it. If you guys didn't see that, if you're just listening now, support women's soccer, please, because it's one thing we need to talk about. As we were recording, as we were getting ready for this, defenders, do you guys want to tell us what happened with the U.S. Soccer Federation that is actually really important?
What a great message we got right before we went on. Carlos Cordero out as USSF president. I got to say, from the mouth of Megan Rapinoe to God's ears, she made it happen, I think, with her sheer will and the amount of confidence she's had on behalf of all the U.S. women's national team going forward. The fact that it was put out there that men have it harder or they have more pressure on them because fans boo them because of how badly they play in hostile stadiums. Are you kidding me? These are the World Cup champions defending multiple times over the best women's players in the world, and Cordero out, rightfully so, as USSF president.
Yeah.
It takes a schmuck to know schmuck, and I'm a schmuck. And what I'm trying to say with that is, when it really boils down to it, the women have the harder aspect of it all because they're expected to win. Nobody expects the U.S. men's national team to win the World Cup. It would be an absolute shock to the world. If the women didn't win the World Cup, everybody would say all this bad stuff. And unfortunately, that's the case. That's the narrative. The women are meant to win the World Cup. The men, if they get lucky. So for them to say that the men have it rough, give me a break. It only makes somebody who supports the U.S. men's national team feel disgusted with the dialogue coming out of the federation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jonathan, I know you're passionate about this too, right?
Well, Julio, I think had something to say, right, Julio?
Oh no, just listening.
Oh, okay.
I'm agreeing with everything you're saying.
Okay, cool. No, I thought I saw your hand there. Cool.
Yeah,
Anybody else have anything that they want to add as far as that goes? So yeah, Cordero is out. He has resigned officially. Anybody on wanna add to that?
I think it's refreshing to see that U.S. soccer is having some accountability for the disgusting level of dialogue that we have seen coming out in the course of the last week. The fact that anyone and their legal team advised this, that their PR team signed off on it, and that leadership went forward and executed this kind of sickening rhetoric is just, I mean, it just shows how diseased U.S. soccer is from a leadership standpoint. And to see at least one person step down, own some accountability to that, and say this is wrong and I made a mistake, I'm at least a little pleased to see that someone took accountability for something from a leadership standpoint that has been so rare in the U.S. soccer scene to see anyone actually say, I screwed up, I'm going to step out of this. So, we'll see who they bring in. Obviously, the hiring of late has not been something that any of us have been pleased by. But going into an Olympic season, there's a lot riding on this summer. Let's hope those games get played, obviously. But we need someone at the top who's not going to condone this kind of conversation, period. It was just disgusting. Whether you believe they deserve to be paid the same or not based on endorsements or whatever, that's really not at core here what has been most sickening about this. It's been the terminology that's been used. And for a country like ours where our women are out there performing at the very highest level and our men can't even beat Trinidad and Tobago, I'm sorry. Conversation's over.
Boom. Mic drop. All I have to say to this is, because I just have to use this.
Wow.
Yeah, that's craziness.
Going off the new soundboard. I like it.
Oh, I gotta use it. Oh, you know who we're missing? Jimmy.
Stay cute. Stay classy.
Oh man! Well, shout out to the entire 3252, all of their leadership. We're lucky enough to have one of the main men here with us today, of course, and it's crazy what we have been able to build. And I say we because all of us, literally everybody that's listening right now, not just those on the screen. I'm talking about everybody. This is about everybody, and we have to protect each other, and we have to make sure we look out for each other. It's going to be okay, guys. That's basically my whole idea behind going out there and just doing this pod, was to make sure that everybody understood that you have somebody that has your back. If you feel scared, if you need somebody to talk to, there's always somebody that is there for you. The Black and Gold family is fucking awesome. Alex, did you want to say something?
Jerry.
Yeah?
If I may add
one
thing as I was walking. It's tough to say what will happen, and I don't know all the logistics of how, this is going to work, given, how much time will elapse if and when, the season comes back this year or whatever. But, there's a lot of people in my neighborhood who ended up getting jobs at Banc of California Stadium. And a lot of those people, I think, rely on those jobs for a lot of their income. I live in a part of Los Angeles that's a little less well off. And if there are people listening to the podcast now or know people who work at the stadium for our games, for these events, shout out to Long Beach Chrome, Michael. I know Michael works some of the games. I can't offer you financial support myself, but I can offer you a listening ear, and I hope that this period and the club, if they, to the extent that they can look out for especially the really vulnerable folks who might really need those paychecks from these games. So yeah, again, it's just another reminder that 3252, not 3252, season ticket holder, not season ticket holder.
Yep.
These events bring a lot of business to this part of town, and as I said, there's a kid on my block who works at the fields, and he used to come trick-or-treating at my house 3 or 4 years ago, and then he got a job there, and I started seeing him, and you could tell he's proud that he's got a job at the stadium, and you start seeing LAFC gear around the community. So it's kind of, there's a whole other aspect, a very visceral aspect to there not being games and there not being a game tonight. And I just want to say, you're part of our unit, even if, you're a casual soccer fan or whatever. If you work at the stadium and you work, or the team store, or the fields or whatever, best wishes to you. And I hope you can make it through. All right.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, man. That's really important that we mentioned that. That again, as mentioned at the beginning of the show, the medical field is not getting enough attention of what's going to happen there. But also that there's a ton of people that are now out of work that depend on these events, these sporting events, not just in NBA, NHL, and MLS, and in USL, in everything that is being canceled right now. There is certain professions where it requires you be around a lot of people. And I saw that people are getting, pink slipped left and right because of this virus. And so, yeah, I mean, our hearts go out to all of you guys. And this is a community. Reach out to us. This is not the time to be, to be proud, to have that kind of proud mentality. I know in Mexican culture, at least, we're very prideful people. If you need help, ask for it. Monetary, maybe we won't be able to help, but if we can, we will. And that's a really big, it's huge. So thank you for bringing that up, Dweez. That's awesome.
When
a lot of people,
when podcasting makes us all wealthy,
right.
We're gonna pay everyone's salaries.
We're not getting penny every 1,000 listeners, and we only have 50 listeners. it's hard. Here's another thing I wanted to say. We're not in this for the money. We do it because we love this club. If we get a little bit of money, I promise. I promise all of us would take it if we could get it, and if we do, we will take it because it takes a lot of time and effort.
Did you become a millionaire from this?
No, dude, no, not even
close.
You think
this Stella was free?
Just to piggyback on what Dweez was saying.
Yes, seriously. And you know what? Props to you. And again, for setting this up, Jerry, you are the podfather. The fact that you run like 1,700 different podcasts and you still found the time to do this, nothing but respect, my man.
Thanks, man.
Clearly, I say that tongue in cheek. You are awesome. Obviously, we listen to you here at Defenders. Jerry is the man. And Scarf just flicked me off. I'm flicking him back off. One statistic that I'd be very curious about. I'm a numbers guy, a very cynical New Yorker numbers guy. The numbers that I want to see is the amount of babies being born 9 months from this time period. Because what are we going to do? Sports are canceled.
Yes, Hermo.
Life is basically canceled. Christ, we can't even go to Disneyland, Universal, Knott's Berry Farm's about to get closed. What else is there to do other than drink and fornicate? 9 months from now, let's check the statistics. Maybe we have another baby boomer population.
Different scoring.
He scores.
Netflix, dude. Chilling Netflix. That's all we have.
Oh, man.
Netflix and chill. That's a good one, Pablo.
Hey.
Go, Alex.
FYI, that's a lie. It's a total lie.
I can't see it. Move it over. Move it to the right more. I can't see it, Scarf.
Wait, Philly.
Yeah.
I'm not a numbers guy. I'm a narrative guy. And I swear you can't make this shit up. But when I walked through, there was no one here. And now you've got a pickup game, y'all.
Awesome.
Yay. That's awesome. That's amazing.
Can we come and chant?
Yo, you can't stop Expo Park. You can't stop Expo Park.
Yo, at the end of the day, maybe what we need to do to give people what they want is we all need to start an e-FIFA league. We could be like the new e-MLS. We could all play each other. It could be us versus us. That could be a way for people to watch football. I'm gutted that I can't watch football. But if there's people out there on YouTube making $15 million for streaming a video game, you talked about the fact that we're not getting paid as podcasters. Why don't we just stream us playing video games against each other? Maybe we can make $1 that way.
Because we suck.
But maybe some of us don't.
Hey, I just want to say real quick. And this is also on my narrative shit. There's a woman playing keeper in that pickup game right there. So,
yeah.
Hey, they're already letting them play in Expo Park. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. And you know what? I'm so appreciative that you're actually showing us the bank. We long for it. We're not in Burbank where we normally are. We're in Culver City. To see the bank dark, it's kind of gut-wrenching. But to know that those lights are eventually going to go back on, because we all know there's not a shadow of a doubt that those lights are going to go back on. I can't wait to see all of you on Christmas Tree Lane. I can't wait to see all of you in Bank of California Stadium. I can't wait to be back in those stands with all my black and gold family.
We would be actually about... It's 8:05. What does that mean? How far into this game would we be right now? 35 minutes?
To start second half.
But yeah.
Depends on how long the Falcon flies.
Oh, it's a 7:30 game. No,
it was a 7:30 game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's supposed to be a game right now where Dewey's is at right now, and it's
No, there is a game. That's all I'm saying. That's where the uplifting part comes in.
yeah,
Jerry.
yeah. You know, but
they might be playing. Hey, they might be playing with 3 pieces of PVC pipe stuck in the ground as the goal, and there might only be about 8 of them running around.
But
there's a woman in there. But I'm just saying, you know, Expo Park's already back up at it. They only took a break for like a couple hours, and I'm gonna blame the rain rather than the actual virus.
Yeah, I feel like that is a perfect time to call it a night, guys. That is a good note to end on. I don't think we can beat that at all. There was supposed to be a game. There wasn't a game, but guess what? There is one now. Love you guys so very much. We're going to start with Julio. Where can people listen, find you, whatever you want to promote, man? Go for it.
Todas las redes sociales, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Somos LFC Podcast de la afición y para la afición. Gracias por la invitación. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us. Jerry, hopefully this is not the only time that we do this together. And hope to see you guys soon at the bank.
Thank you, sir. No, definitely won't be the last time. Mr. Josh Kasho, go for it.
Over at the bank note, you can read our work over there. And then the Counterpress podcast with me and Kirk, who wanted to be here tonight but was coaching some soccer this evening.
Good. That's good. It's a good thing to be doing. Mr. Alex Dwyer.
What up, Slim? What up, Josh? We record a podcast in my backyard. It's called FCFC. I think there's internet properties associated with that. I don't really know. I'm not really responsible in that way digitally. I also have a season pass podcast with our good friend and reporter Brian Wallerson. I'm a reporter in recovery, and we talk about the beautiful game on that one. We don't talk about anything having to do with soccer on the other one, but I would like to formally invite, Julio's already been on the pod, of course, but I'd like to formally invite everyone else on the pod at some point during this, as long as everyone stays healthy. Come on over, we'll do a backyard episode. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Dope.
That'd be awesome.
Good.
Dude, I've been trying to get on that thing forever. I am sorry, man. We are going to make it happen this year. I fucking promise.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Shoulder to shoulder. Let us have it, man.
LAFCS2S.com on Stitcher, Apple, Google, anywhere there's podcasts. You know, subscribe, rate, download, whatever. And we do our job in terms of interviewing those that make the culture, the fabric of LAFC in the stands, 3252, or anywhere in the stadium that wants to tell their story to come on.
Yeah, look, thank you, Jerry, for putting this on. It's kind of a dark day for all of us. It's good that we come together as a pod fam, as an LAFC fam, and, realize that, just because we're not cheering together doesn't mean we're not going to stick up for each other. And it's going to be a rough month, especially for, my heart goes out to all those people who, our jobs are in question at the moment. How many of us know a security guard by first name? How many of us know somebody who works at one of the vendor stations by first name? Think of all these people in ticketing, front office. All these people are out of a job for 30 days. And those are the people that, our hearts go out to. I know the pod fam's going to keep cranking out content for the next month while we don't have games. And, all of us can go back to a normal life, hopefully soon enough. And, Chris, do you have any last words, brother?
Well, yeah, and obviously, if there's anybody listening right now, if you guys have an interest in telling your story, reach out to us at LAFCS2S, and we'll be sure to fit you guys in. Everybody's story needs to be told.
Thank you, man. Yeah, absolutely. You guys are killing it with that. And latest episode is my tocayo, Jerry. Shout out to Jerry, who did not come on. And I apologize, dude. I only have so much bandwidth, but I promise that we will do this again, and hopefully we can figure out how to have all 20 of the actual podcasts that are out there. It's craziness, how big
we
that
can
pod
actually
fan
all
is.
fit in the backyard too. I think until gatherings of 20 or more are banned, let's make that happen.
It's awesome, man. That sounds like a plan. Defenders of the Bank, go for it.
What's happening, guys? At Facebook and Instagram at Defenders of the Bank, and on Twitter at Defend the Bank. But honestly, again, Jerry, this would not have happened without you, my friend. You are one of the two pod fathers, and it's been an honor. Honestly, sharing this space with our LAFC pod fam has been such a much needed jolt of joy in all of our lives. I know we would all rather be at the Cathedral of the Black and Gold Bank of California Stadium tonight, but What's more important is that we all wash our hands, we stay safe, and we love our black and gold. Now, I'm going to encourage Philly to shout out his Twitter handle because he created it about, I don't know, 6-7 weeks ago. And if you want to hear some of the best hot takes out there in the LAFC world, make sure you check out Philly's Twitter handle.
He's totally bullshitting because I only retweet LAFC things, but it's DOTB_Philly. What I will say this, it's always darkness before there's light, and tough times don't last. Tough people do. Nothing will motivate a man, woman, or child quite like a broken heart, no football. Quite like an empty wallet, no job. Quite like, what the heck is that? Sounds like a heartbeat. Maybe it's the heart of LAFC. But nothing will motivate somebody quite like a broken heart, an empty wallet, or an empty stomach. Right now, common sense is so common right now. Practice sense. Wash your hands. If you go to the bathroom, for Christ's sakes, wash your hands. But if there's anything that you wanted to do in your quarantine, you want to start a podcast, you want to learn an instrument, you want to speak another language, now's the time to capitalize on the moments that we have because they are few and far between. And at the end of the day, I can't wait to get back to the bank. I can't wait to actually report about a freaking match. As much fun as I've had, as much as I love all of you in the Podfam, as much as I listen to all your shows, no bullshit. I really do. Ask this guy right here to the left of me. We definitely do. I can't wait to talk about matches. I can't wait to talk about statistics. I can't wait to talk about how Dio and Bradley Wright Phillips are going to be back in the lineup because this pause is the silver lining. It's going to get them back in the lineup. I love you guys. I love this club. I love everything that this community is all about. And I can't wait to actually get back to rocking and rolling and not talking about this motherfucking coronavirus.
Yeah, use this time to learn your Somos del Barrio Angelino lyrics.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Julio, because you're the man, Julio. I'm gonna ask you before I actually give the floor to Pablo. I'm gonna ask you to start thinking of a chant that we can all do together to close it out. Okay? So Pablo, give us your handles and all that stuff, man. Where can people find you?
We are Dale Black and Gold and Twitter and Facebook and also Instagram, and we have a live show every week. It used to be all Mondays. We're trying to do Sundays. I don't know when, but we're doing a live show every week, talking just about the matches, mainly about football and Spanish. And you want to participate, you can send us messages and we can take calls. You can find me at LAFC Pablo and Louis, my friend, at Louis Donny's blog. You can find it in Twitter too and Facebook.
Awesome, man. Julio, let's lead us in a chant, man. Let's close this out with the chant. I think it's the only way that we can do it. What do you think?
The city of angels.
In black and gold.
Black and gold.
Fight for LAFC. Oh. Hey. Angels. In black and gold.
In black and gold.
We will fight. For LAFC, we're all over the place, guys. We are all over the place. But you get the point. You get
lag
the
is
point.
real.
Yeah, lag is real.
You guys, thank you so much for joining us, LAFC Pod Fam. I love you all.
Hey, wait. Yuri, I just want to say something.
What?
Now that I can say bad words.
Yeah.
Fuck Carson.
Hey!
Fuck that lousy shit-ass franchise.
We had gone the entire pod without naming them. Pinche Pablo.
I know. You can just edit it if you want to. I just want to say it. I get to say
I ain't gonna edit that
Anyways.
shit. No, man.
Don't
it's
touch
staying
your
in.
face. Don't touch your face.
Don't touch your face.
Don't touch your face. Don't touch your face.
Hey, can we give a shout out to the center mid chicks real quick?
Shout out to the Center
NWSL
Mid
podcast
Chicks.
for the
Go
people.
make sure you follow them as well, doing the God's work.
Clorox, CLX is the ticker symbol. I think it's trading at $150 per share. Lord knows they're going to make money. Lord knows Netflix, Walmart, and Costco are going to make money. You might as well short the market for a little while longer. But you showed me Clorox. You gave me an idea to invest. Thank you. Shoulder to shoulder.
All right, y'all. Have a great night. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining me and the rest of the pod fam. So 4, the LAFC Podfam. My name is Jerry Jimenez, and you have been listening to this very special podcast. I'm not going to say this is the Heart of LAFC podcast. This is the Podfam podcast. Stay golden, y'all. You guys hang around. I want to talk to you.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.